Hello, Master32 here, and I'm going to show you today how to set up a Minecraft server. Now, the first thing you need to do is create a folder on wherever you want to keep your server. It's be on your computer. You can name it whatever you want. And I'm just gonna name it YouTube How to Server. Obviously, the reason I did that instead of calling it server is I already have one called server that I play with my friends every now and then. So there's multiple ways to set up a server. There's a way using Hamachi, in which your friends all over can play with you, and there's a way using your computer's IP. Now, with both ways, you need to go to www.minecraft.net, as featured in my last video. Click download now after you signed in to a Mojang account. You need a Mojang account to be able to download this. However, you do not need a Mojang account to run it. Someone could easily download it for you on your computer and just log out of Mojang. That was simple. So you download this. You wait for it to download, and then wherever it is, you could just literally all you need to do is find where it is and put it in your folder where you want it to be. Obviously, mine is right here. My YouTube How To folder is right now. It's over here. So I click and drag into the YouTube How To server folder. Then you run it. And then you wait. Now what would be happening then is, God, where's my server? Right then it'd be opening some file. Yeah, there it is. So it would be giving you folders, and I have two. I have no idea how I have two, so I'm just gonna close one. Oh, I closed the wrong one. So when you close one, you gotta type stop. Try it again. Actually, if you get all these folders, you're okay. These stuff is what you need. First, all you need, server log. Now, most of the stuff you don't need to change if you just want to host a normal vanilla Minecraft server with your friends. Level name, world, it's easy. Enable query, you could just keep that. You can keep that false. Allow flight, you could keep that to false or true. It doesn't really make a difference. Creative mode flying is still allowed. If I were you, I'd take that from false to true though, just in case you want to install a mod onto a LAN world and all that, or install a mod onto the server. Server port by default is mostly correct, so don't fool around with that unless it doesn't work later. Level type default. If you want to put in a custom map or something, just leave it like that. Enable recon, just keep that false. Seed. Basically, this world folder is the world that will be generating. So if you have no world folder, you can enter the seed of the level you want to know. And server IP is really the one part that you need. Obviously, this is for a local server that people who are near you can only play. Not really everyone in the world. So what you would do is you do IP config. You do CMD or terminal or whatever it's called. You type in IP config, IPCONFIG. You'd press enter. And then it would come up with a bunch of IP addresses. You want your IPv4 address. if you only want to play it locally with your friends, and then you put that here, paste it. And then max build height, I would leave that the same. Stun NPCs, true unless you don't want them. Whitelist, now this is if you want only your friends to be able to join, or you want everyone in the world to be able to join. Obviously, if you're doing the local server way that I'm showing you right now, it will be only your friends joining, so you don't need to worry about this. Spawn animals, pretty self-explanatory. True or false. Hardcore, true or false. Basically means if you die, you like have to respawn, and I think you're banned when you die. I haven't actually tested out hardcore yet. Texture pack, I believe it sets a custom texture pack. Online mode, when you're doing a local server, it doesn't matter if it's true or false, which is LAN. PvP, do you want players to hit each other, or do you want them to not hit each other? Difficulty, do you want peaceful, which is 0, easy, which is 1, 2, which is normal, or 3, which is hard. Game mode, what game mode do you want the players to spawn with? 0 or 1. Creative is 1, and then 0 is survival. Max players, I put that to the amount, a little bit more than the amount of players you're planning to have, just in case one of your friends randomly comes at the last minute, so you don't have to sit down your server. Spawn monsters, pretty self-explanatory. Generate structures, pretty self-explanatory. View distance, you don't need to worry about that. Now, message of the day, MOTD. Basically, you can make this whatever you want. When they see your Minecraft server, they'll see the name of it, but they put it in under it, they'll see the message of the day. So, like, I could just name this example, and then when you logged onto this, you'd see example. And then when you're done with that, you'd close that. I'm not gonna save because I'm gonna do this again. Then you'd go to ops, and then you'd add yourself as an op. Add yourself as a whitelist just in case you accidentally close the server. And then if you wanted to just go from there, yeah, that's all you'd have to do. For you to go onto it, all you'd have to do in Minecraft, I'll just show you. For Minecraft, for your server IP for yourself, wrong thing. For yourself, the server IP, all you need to do is type in localhost if you want it for yourself. But if you want your friends to join, they have to have the IP number that you have in the server IP that you got from the command or terminal, depending if you're using a Mac or Windows. The IPv4 address, so it'd be the IPv4, exactly as it appears, colon, and then the port, which is by default whatever your port is. Mine was by default 25565. And you just enter the actual IPv4, not the actual letters IPv4, but you'd actually enter the IPv4. Like, say it's like 192 point like point and then the port was like 36578. That would be what you type in. And basically, the server doesn't generally have a lot of range. And in the server, you could turn on and off all that stuff. This is your server IPv4 address. To get onto the server, they need what you put in here, which has to be the IPv4 address from terminal or command. And then they need the port, which is by default correct normally. So they need, once again, they need the server IP. And they need a colon, and they need to type in the port number. That's how you do a local one. Now, there's two ways to do an online one. You can use Hamachi, which I use for a little bit of my friends, or you can use port forwarding. Hamachi and port forwarding are both ways to globalize a server. For Hamachi, everyone that you want to join your server needs to have Hamachi itself. When you download Hamachi for free, you get a max of 5 players on your server. However, you can join one that has 1 million players. It just matters how many you want to host. You could buy more and more and more from the actual Hamachi site and all that for more connections. But basically what you do for Hamachi is you'd go to Hamachi, network, create a network, make a username, in this case, this is my network username. And then you make a network password. Obviously, I'm not going to tell you. And then you'd actually have your friends who downloaded Hamachi enter their username and password. Now with this server.properties or server, whatever it's called on your computer, the one that you can edit, all you have to do is do the same thing as before, whatever you want, until you get the server IP. This Hamachi thing right here would be the copy of the IPv4, not the IPv6, IPv4. And then you'd paste that here. If I was going to run this, I could just do this. I could do that. And that would be how I'd set up my server to my friends. Now, to get onto the server, all they need is that server IP, I believe. Not the port. Yeah, all they need is the server IP. I don't believe they need the port. If it doesn't work, just ask them to use the port. And if they're connected to your Hamachi network, it will work. If they're not connected, it will not work. So if you don't buy anything if you're using Hamachi, you get a maximum of 5 players initially, including yourself. So what you do is, if you don't have Hamachi, you go network, create a new network, and then ask you for a network ID, password, and confirm password. You type that in, you get something that's sort of like this without the players in it. You ask your friends to join an existing network. You put they put the network ID and the password. It is case sensitive, the ID and the password. Then again, once they do that, they'll be able to connect to your server using the IPv4 address if you put the correct IPv4 address in the server IP. And then once you do all this stuff with server.properties with Hamachi, or with local server or with port forwarding, you can either delete the world, make it generate a new world, place in a world, let it generate that world. But something about placing in worlds, if you place in a world, like it's called like Settlings Redstone Challenge or something, or it's called like Z or something, like, for example, I'll show you. If it's called like this, it's the actual world file, you need to rename it to world. Obviously, in the server.properties, you could technically change the name of the world it's going, like the level name world. But what I always do is I just have 2 folders, like I have a folder saying what it is, and then I have another folder inside containing the actual file named world, so I can never lose all my stuff. And yeah, that's how I do it. I would show you how to port forward, except port forwarding is different for every single computer. So if you have one computer and I have another, if you have the exact same computer and network as me, great, but that wouldn't help much people here out. So yeah, that's how you host a Minecraft server, and that's how you have friends join a Minecraft server. Thank you so much for watching. This has been Master Me 32 here. And please rate, comment, and subscribe. Bye!